Welcome to our channel, where we bring stories to life to help you learn English. I'm so glad you're here today. Grab a comfy seat, because we have a truly inspiring tale for you. Today's story is called The Boy Who Stopped the Fire. It's a wonderful story about courage, quick thinking, and the power one person has to make a huge difference. Are you ready? Let's begin. Once upon a time, nestled in a valley surrounded by lush, green trees, there was a quiet and peaceful town. The villagers lived in harmony, their days filled with simple joys and hard work. In this town lived a young boy named Rithi. He was known for his curious nature and his love for exploring the vast forests that bordered their village. He knew every path, every stream, and every secret clearing. One sunny afternoon, while Rithi was playing near the edge of the woods, he noticed something strange. A thin, gray wisp was curling up into the bright blue sky from deep within the forest. His heart skipped a beat. It wasn't a cloud, and it wasn't the usual morning mist. It was smoke. He knew instantly that something was wrong. Fire was a great danger to their wooden houses and the forest they all depended on. Without a second thought, Rithi turned and ran as fast as his legs could carry him back to the village square. He was out of breath, his face flushed with urgency. "Fire! Fire in the forest!" he shouted, trying to get everyone's attention. The villagers, who were busy with their daily chores, looked up. An old farmer squinted at the horizon and shook his head. "Calm down, boy," he said dismissively. "It's just the afternoon mist rolling in from the hills. You're letting your imagination run wild again." Another woman, who was mending a fishing net, chuckled. "Rithi, you always see dragons in the clouds and monsters in the shadows. It's nothing to worry about." The other villagers nodded in agreement and went back to their tasks, ignoring the boy's desperate pleas. They were so used to the tranquility of their town that they could imagine a disaster like a fire happening. Rithi felt a wave of frustration and fear. He knew what he saw, and he knew the danger was real. They wouldn't listen, but he couldn't just stand there and do nothing while his home was threatened. He realized that if no one else was going to act, he had to. His mind raced. He was just one small boy, but he had to try. He remembered his father telling him, "Even the smallest drop of water can help put out a spark." With renewed determination, Rithi ran to the village well. He grabbed the heaviest wooden bucket he could manage, filled it to the brim with cool, clear water, and staggered towards the forest. The bucket was heavy, and water sloshed over the sides, soaking his feet, but he didn't stop. He pushed his way through the familiar trees, his eyes scanning for the source of the smoke, which was now growing thicker and darker. He finally reached a small clearing and saw it. The fire was still small, a collection of bright orange flames greedily eating away at the dry leaves and fallen branches on the forest floor. It crackled and popped, sending sparks flying into the air. If it reached the larger trees, it would spread uncontrollably. Taking a deep breath, Rithi swung the bucket and threw the water onto the biggest patch of flames. Hiss! The fire recoiled, but it wasn't out. He ran back and forth, from the nearby stream to the fire, refilling his small bucket time and time again. He worked tirelessly, his small body aching with effort. He shouted at the fire, "You won't burn our forest. You won't reach our village." He was all alone, but his spirit was strong. Back in the village, the smell of smoke finally began to drift through the air. The mist Rithi had warned them about was now a thick, dark plume rising above the treetops. Panic started to set in. The farmer who had dismissed Rithi dropped his tools. "The boy was right," he yelled. "The forest is on fire." Suddenly, the whole village sprang into action. Men and women grabbed buckets, pots, and any container they could find. They ran towards the forest, their hearts pounding with fear for their homes and for the brave little boy who had tried to warn them. When they arrived, they saw an incredible sight. There was Rithi, covered in soot and sweat, still bravely fighting the flames that were now much larger. Seeing him there, all by himself, filled the villagers with both shame and admiration. They didn't waste a moment. They formed a long line from the stream to the fire, passing buckets of water from person to person in a frantic, coordinated effort. "We're here, Rithi. We'll fight it with you," they shouted. Working together, with Rithi leading the way and showing them the most dangerous spots, they battled the blaze. The sound of shouting and splashing water filled the forest. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the last flame flickered and died. The fire was out. The forest was saved, and so was the village. Everyone was exhausted, but relieved. They gathered around Rithi, their faces filled with gratitude. The village chief, a wise old man, placed a gentle hand on Rithi's shoulder. "Rithi," he said, his voice full of emotion, "today, you were braver than all of us. You saw the danger when we were blind, and you acted when we hesitated. You saved us all." Rithi, tired but proud, looked up at the faces of his fellow villagers and simply smiled. "I only did what I thought was right," he said softly. "We are all safe, and that's what matters." And so, the story of Rithi became a legend in the town. It served as a powerful reminder of the story's moral. True bravery isn't about being big or strong. It's about seeing what needs to be done and having the courage to act, especially when it means helping others, no matter how small you think you are. That was the story of the boy who stopped the fire. What a powerful lesson about courage and taking initiative. I hope you enjoyed it and that it inspires you as much as it inspires me. If you loved this story and want to hear more, please hit that subscribe button and join our community. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Keep learning and stay curious.